Yemen is one of the hardest-hit targets of America's deadly drone campaign. But despite President Obama's promise of more transparency, relatively little is known about who is actually being killed there. RT's Lucy Kafanov was able to reach one Yemeni village where a community has been devastated by the effects of drone strikes.
It says no faith for the one who has no trust. But both are now in short supply in this part of Yemen. For months, the class has been without its math teacher and this pupil without his father.
This is the picture about teacher Ali Nasser.
His name is still on the staff's schedule, but Ali hasn't been here since signing out of class on January 23rd.
The last day, the final day.
The father of three was killed by a U.S. drone alongside his 20-year-old cousin Salim, a college student who drove them in a borrowed Toyota. They picked up two strangers who turned out to be suspected al-Qaeda militants. Witnesses reported a whirring sound in the sky. Then missiles struck their car.
The smell of death was everywhere. Some of the bodies were burned beyond recognition. The rest were ripped to shreds and scattered all around. I found a part of Salim inside the car. The rest was outside. We only recognized him by a piece of his trousers. You couldn't tell who was who, if they were even human. It was sickening.
One drone changed this sleepy farming village forever. Less than an hour's drive from Yemen's capital, Kowloon is far removed from al-Qaeda operations. But without warning, it was thrust into the war on terror. Salim's mother shows me where her son used to sleep. She can't bear to get rid of his things, although she knows he'll never return home.
God help us. I didn't understand until the next day that an American drone killed my son. Why? Tell me. May Allah deprive them of their souls like they robbed us of our son. He was the only one providing for this family. All we have left now is our tears.
We only target al-Qaeda and its associated forces. And even then, the use of drones is heavily constrained. Before any strike is taken, there must be near certainty that no civilians will be killed or injured. The highest standard we can set.
Allahu Akbar.
Except there was a deadly failure. Yemen's Interior Ministry confirmed the cousins had no links to terrorism. In a country where tribal ties surmount all, the loss was felt far beyond the family. The White House has never acknowledged the deaths, let alone the strike. But Mohammed shows me the evidence.
This is what killed them.
What's thought to be a fragment of a Hellfire missile launched from a drone. The U.S. believes this is its best weapon against al-Qaeda. Although not officially at war in Yemen, the covert drone campaign has been dramatically ramped up here under President Obama. Yemen's al-Qaeda threat is real. It's plotted attacks on international airliners and caused hundreds of deaths. The CIA describes it as the most dangerous and active branch of the terrorist network. The defense is that drone strikes have seriously damaged al-Qaeda's ability to plan attacks, but critics here say it's doing the exact opposite.
It has not contained the growth of al-Qaeda, and in fact, it may have contributed to the growth and expansion of al-Qaeda. And at some point, when al-Qaeda becomes large enough and powerful enough, then it will be able to inflict serious damage.
The U.S. war on terror has no borders, often waged remotely with cruise missiles and drones. It's an undeclared global battlefield in which Yemen is just one of the front lines, a fight against groups like al-Qaeda, in which ordinary civilians also end up paying a price.
I asked Obama to bring my dad back to life. All the kids at school have their fathers, but we don't.
Reporting in Kowloon in Yemen, I'm Lucy Kafanov.
And a delegation now from Yemen is due to meet U.S. lawmakers to push for an end to the attacks. Families of drone strike victims are also voicing their pain over their losses. This at an international conference in Washington. It took place over the weekend. Activists were there as well, calling for more transparency and accountability, with some declaring America's unmanned aircraft campaign to be a form of terrorism.
It was heartbreaking to hear these stories of people who had not even heard about the United States, didn't know why these missiles were coming down and attacking them. You know, people who have committed suicide because of the mental pressure of having these drones hover overhead 24 hours a day. In my mind, having missiles come out of the sky from out of nowhere and attacking families is a form of terrorism. And so I don't know how you can determine that somebody is a terrorist without presenting evidence against them, and that's what the Geneva Conventions call for. So, you know, these drone strikes violate many, many tenets of the Geneva Conventions. They violate the sovereignty of the foreign countries that we're attacking. The drone attacks are not only, you know, not effective, but they're actually counter-effective, because absolutely we are creating more enemies with every innocent person that we kill.